It's October 2015, a chilly autumn day. John Brennan, then director of the CIA, receives a bizarre phone call. The caller is a stranger. Brennan hesitates for a second, then answers. On the other end, the caller insults him and demands $5 trillion. The U.S. government quickly labels the incident as part of a wider conspiracy involving identity theft, harassment of government officials, and cyber terrorism. Whoever was behind the call would pay dearly for the stunt. Across the Atlantic, in the West Midlands of England, a 15-year-old boy is sitting in his room, still holding the phone. He can't believe what he just did. He calls himself Kraka. He enjoys smoking weed, he's high right now, and he leads a group called Krakas with Attitude, CWA. He and his team have just humiliated and shaken the entire American security establishment. They leaked the personal data of police officers, FBI agents, and DOJ officials. They funneled classified documents to Julian Assange and were among his most active contributors. Yes, a lot of it was for the sake of trolling, but this is their story. Back in 2008 in Virginia, another kid who goes by the alias Default is just beginning his journey. He's a fairly typical American teen, into football, video games, and his dog. He often clashes with his dad, a government employee. At one point, Default starts using cheats in online games, marking his first taste of bending systems through a computer. The experience fascinates him. He dives deep into learning how machines work and how to make them do extraordinary things. The year 2008 is a golden era for decentralized activism. Anonymous is on the rise. If you're lucky enough to access their secret chat rooms, you witness chaos and power in action. Anonymous embodies a rebellious form of freedom. Through chaos, they show the world how a teenager in a bedroom can demand global attention. Some of their stunts are political, others are pure provocation. Default becomes obsessed with learning everything about hacking. He starts breaking into random websites just to see if he can. But after spending time in anonymous chats, he starts seeing them as cringe. The group is flooded with informants, people get arrested, no one knows who to trust. Anonymous becomes too big, plagued with leaks and internal conflict. They often take credit for the work of other, more skilled hackers. It's chaos. So Default branches out, aligning himself with splinter groups like AnonSec, an anti-anonymous hacking collective. Like their predecessors, AnonSec launches cyber attacks with both political motives and for trolling. They're more advanced. Default hones his skills with them. AnonSec operates a botnet, a vast network of infected computers under their control. These machines can spread malware or be used to DDoS servers. Default examines the botnet and discovers one of the devices belongs to a Canadian medical school, the University of Windsor. To his surprise, he gains access to the school's financial records. He finds a list of student debts totaling $9.4 million. At the bottom of the page is a tempting button, delete all. How could he not click it? As he later explains, some of these people owed $70,000, even $100,000. That's life-crippling debt. Maybe they'd appreciate having it erased. So I just did it. I went into the PHP shell and nuked it all. It's gone for good. Normally, student loan systems have multiple backups, both digital and paper. Signed contracts and offline storage exist. But in that moment, Default feels like he's doing something real. His hacks grow more driven by altruism than curiosity. In 2014, bestiality was still legal in Denmark. Germany, Sweden, and the UK had recently outlawed it, but Denmark had become a hotspot for such abuse. Activists called them dog brothels. For years, animal rights groups had tried to raise awareness, with no luck. So, hackers took action. They DDoS'd bestiality websites and posted graphic evidence of abuse on Twitter. The information went viral, sparking global outrage. Anonymous falsely claimed credit, much to Default's annoyance. But the hacks worked. People were talking. Protests grew. Eventually, in April 2015, Denmark outlawed bestiality. Meanwhile, default kept advancing. He became an early adopter of cryptocurrency, amassing over 1,000 bitcoins, now worth around $70 million. He stored them on a hard drive in his bedroom and became hyper-vigilant. He never used his own Wi-Fi. He'd connect via satellite dish to access public networks. All his devices were encrypted, taking 30 minutes to unlock. He rarely told anyone what he was doing. He knew he had a lot to lose. But eventually, even that wouldn't be enough. Flashback to May 2013, a 29-year-old U.S. intelligence contractor also has a lot to lose: home, girlfriend, and a $200K salary. But he uncovers a devastating truth. The U.S. government can surveil nearly anyone on Earth who's touched a computer, and he helped build the system. The knowledge haunts him. Disclosing this to anyone, even Congress, would be a felony that could land him in prison for life. He fears he'll never see his family again. But he has to act. After collecting evidence for months, he finally uploads the last documents. He tells his employer he needs medical leave to deal with epilepsy, buying time to flee the country. He heads to Hong Kong, believing it to be a bastion of free speech. There, he meets journalists Laura Poitras and Glenn Greenwald and hands over proof of mass surveillance. His name is Edward Snowden. Snowden's revelations spark global outrage and long overdue debates about privacy and national security. His story inspires default to scrutinize government surveillance. He doesn't want to sit idle and let it happen. He wants intelligence officials to experience the same kind of invasive scrutiny the public endures. He joins forces with Kraka and CWA, fueled by frustration, weed, and a cause. It's 2015 in Leicestershire, England, in a run-down ex-mining town. With nothing to do, 15-year-old Kraka smokes weed and surfs the web. He's furious about corruption, surveillance, and U.S. involvement in the Middle East. So, he acts. His first target is James Clapper, then Director of National Intelligence under Obama. A simple Google search reveals Clapper's phone number and address. That's all Kraka needs to hack into Clapper's email. He posts proof on Twitter, catching default's attention. Next, Kraka reroutes Clapper's home phone to the Free Palestine movement. Default praises him online, and the two start talking. Snowden had previously called out Clapper for lying under oath to Congress, saying the U.S. wasn't spying on its own citizens. Kraka and the Fault are enraged. Kraka and loosely affiliated CWA members form a team to embarrass more high-level officials. At the top of their list is CIA Director John Brennan. Like Clapper, Brennan has personal data online. Kraka finds his Verizon phone number, calls internal support, and pretends to be a technician needing help with a client. They ask for his employee ID. He makes one up on the spot. It works. Suddenly, Kraka has Brennan's account number, PIN, and email. With that, he hijacks Brennan's AOL account. Inside, he finds Brennan's personal phone number and shares it with default. They begin spam calling Brennan and his family. The calls seem like harmless trolling, but to Brennan, the threat feels real. He beefs up security and hides out for a while. Through Brennan's email, Kraka gains access to classified documents. He posts screenshots on Twitter, then pauses. What would Snowden do, he wonders. He contacts Wikileaks. Julian Assange responds. In October 2015, Wikileaks publishes the files, including Brennan's 47-page SF-86 form, used to obtain top-secret security clearance. The document exposes his criminal history, mental health records, drug use, and more. Things no one wants online. It also includes Bush-era memos on how U.S. presidents should handle the Middle East and secret Senate Intelligence Committee discussions about making torture legal. The breach costs the CIA $155 million and forces several agents to relocate over a threat that, in reality, wasn't there. The attack was absurdly easy. CWA isn't done. They hack Deputy FBI Director Mark Giuliano's account. They leak databases containing personal info of 9,000 DOJ employees and 20,000 FBI agents. They infiltrate the DOJ's centralized booking system, revealing inmate records. some belonging to fellow hackers like Jeremy Hammond. They sow chaos and disgrace institutions, one by one. Did they really think they'd get away with it? Kraken knows he's made powerful enemies. He expects consequences, but not how they'll arrive. Default, always paranoid, finally slips. He starts dating the ex-girlfriend of a friend. He says he asked permission, but the friend lied and still held a grudge. One night, drunk on Xbox Live, they chat. News headlines flash about the CIA email hack. Default brags, "Yeah, that was us, blah, blah, blah." He thinks nothing of it, but the friend turns him in. The FBI doesn't knock. They burst in, weapons drawn as his laptop is decrypting. They clone his drive before it re-encrypts. They seize everything. Default realizes it's over. Worst of all, watching them carry away the hard drive with his entire Bitcoin stash. He faints. Kraken is also caught. British police raid his home and confiscate his devices. One CWA member is arrested in the US, 3 more in the UK. Kraken, being a minor, receives a lenient sentence, 2 years in juvenile detention. He becomes the first UK minor imprisoned for hacking. He now keeps a low profile, hopes for a career in cybersecurity, and wants to move on. Default pays a heavier price. Though less involved, he's sentenced to 5 years in federal prison and fined $145,000. Due to COVID rules, much of his time is spent in solitary. In court, he says, "I thought what I was doing was right for political justice, but 2 years later, I realized I was completely wrong." Snowden didn't have it easy either. After the leaks, US officials publicly fantasized about assassinating him. Whether you're a principled whistleblower or a teen angry at the world's injustice, fighting the US government will change your life forever. So make sure it's worth it.